One of the more important things in the market is that when a bad product comes out, it doesn't do that well, and therefore the people get, punished for a bad product by not having as great financial return. Well, in this case, the GTA remasters have actually sold magnificently. Now, I've got to say, I've enjoyed the San Andreas remaster. Number one, because it's San Andreas and it's just fun going around as CJ. I have also enjoyed it because it's quite fun to laugh at. Some of it is unintentionally very funny, especially the character models. Yeah. But it is one of those things where these deserve better. And in a world where we look at the likes of, Resident Evil, and the incredible work that has been done, the amount of love that has been poured into those, where they obviously knew they needed to resurrect the brand. And the way to do that is to treat it with love and care and reverence. Whereas here, it feels a lot more like product was needed for a quarter. So we need to get this product and it needs to be sold, which does seem to be what's happened here. So to go into this, the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition could have sold as many as 10 million copies since last November. Sales figures shared on Monday suggest. This is via Video Games Chronicle. Now, the latest figures basically are that the GTA series itself has sold 370 million units, including 160 million copies of GTA 5. Now, those are up from 355 million for the series and 155 million for GTA 5, which they had reported last November, just prior to the release of the trilogy. So basically, if you, add and subtract and do all the things of the numbers, it comes out to seeming as if the trilogy shifted 10 million copies.
Yep, or thereabouts.
Yeah. Now, in January, Strauss said that, it was not actually a new title, a remaster of pre-existing titles. We did have a glitch in the beginning. That glitch was resolved.
Yeah, I think,
Well, there we go. Strauss has said so.
He's fixed it himself.
Good man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so that's obviously how he is handling that. Now, the glitch that he's talking about could be the music licensing issue. And, the things that resulted in it being pulled from stores.
Yeah. I think, to be unfair, the glitch is that it wasn't available for sale. That glitch was fixed, and now it's back on sale, so everything's just hunky-dory now.
Yeah, now, for more recently, he said, we have some quality issues, saying they've attempted to address those. They have more coming. They feel very good about how it's performed commercially. We were all a bit disappointed by the quality initially, very grateful that most of those issues have been addressed. There's more work to be done. That is not a statement that inspires great faith in me, because ultimately their core goal is the financial performance, and that has already been achieved. From what I understand, though, this was basically all built on top of the mobile phone port by the studio who did the mobile port, who then were not given enough time to properly do this.
Yeah, because I believe they're still going to ship this trilogy as it exists on mobile as well, so.
Yeah.
Per Grove Street Games.
Yeah, so congrats, you just confirmed that releasing broken games is not only profitable, but perfectly acceptable. And ultimately, that is the vibe that we cannot help but get from this.
Yeah, that's it. This was an utter laughingstock of a game across every gamer on the internet. It was just people laughing at it. Some people defending it, unsuccessfully largely. But somehow, despite all of that, despite literally being, headlines for being the worst broken remaster we've ever seen. Literally, shipped mobile game, didn't think about it, called it a day, still sold 10 million copies.
Yeah.
Still made them hundreds of billions of dollars.
Mission accomplished, right?
Yep.
And when we go through the fixes, there is the stability improvement patch for PS4 and Xbox One on December 3rd, 2021. You can see many things there, so that's good, fair enough. However, there are unfixed problems. PC camera centering, control issues, glitches, just general graphical nonsense, which even on the Game Pass version, which is just San Andreas, I saw loads of issues like that when I was playing it.
Yeah.
The Born in the 80s achievement is broken. Somebody here just saying, I lost all my data. I'm violently Cam, guessing no fix.
Yep.
I'm so mad, I'm Cam. You've actually inspired battle cam in this individual.
Yeah, that's the thing where this is a small selection of things that I was able to spot people continue to complain about after the December fixes. I think there's a patch coming up with the Switch version's release that will also have that has a 9 gig download, which is kind of insane for the Switch, but This is just a small selection of things that are unfixed. There's a lot more unfixed, like you say, stuff that you saw in San Andreas on Game Pass. And there's a thing where this is what I think is largely gone unsaid, but also kind of annoys me a little bit, because it's like almost like the Overton window of what people are happy to discuss, or where the market focus is, or where the community focus is. It's on how broken it is.
Yeah.
There are people, I guess, generally praising it for having the control scheme works fairly well, as far as I've heard. Generally speaking,
Yes.
I think people are pretty happy with that.
Generally controls well, and certainly from a distance, it can look quite good.
Yeah, so I've seen people be like, okay, this is all okay, whatever. They've done small changes that are better, but the problem is it's broken. But I think it's a little bit more than that, especially when you bring up the Resident Evil stuff. It's a case of, this is just the old games with a fresh coat of paint and a little bit of a fix. Sometimes that's fine, but that inspires such laziness. But for the likes of Strauss, it's all just, we had some quality issues. But because everyone's talking about how broken it is, they get to go, oh, no. The game was perfect, if only it wasn't broken. Which kind of means all of the possibility that could have existed for a great product out of really faithfully loving those games, all idea of that is completely gone, because this is just, oh, it's broken. Like a binary problem of being broken. So they fix it and go,
Job done.
job's done. We made, this is clearly a hundreds of millions of dollar product. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I think that brings up something super important. It's quality. And often enough, we are so stuck in the weeds of, oh, this is broken. Oh, this is busted.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to laugh at the textures in this character's face. Like, I don't know, like it's Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah.
That the discussion that doesn't happen as much is okay, but what about the actual quality of the thing, assuming all the fixes are there?
Yeah.
Because you could get a game like, say, I don't know, Doom Eternal. Let's just say it has a few major bugs at launch. I'm not saying it did, but imagine it did. Because the core quality is there, people would be happy. Mm-hmm. I think we're in a situation where there wasn't really the core quality to talk about, so people fixate on the bugs. Yeah. And it just leads me to think, could you double this sales for 10x the cost? Like, would it be 10x, 20x the cost in order to do any of these games like they were the, say the Resident Evil remasters? And then you're sort of led to think, okay, so let's just say that they did this trilogy and they did it to that level of quality, which maybe means a lot of outsourcing studios for assets, a larger core development team for integration, maybe a few little gameplay, just, nudges forward in each of the games. I think we could all see how that would be an incredible experience that we'd all want to buy. And maybe it would shift. Maybe this number would be 15 million instead of 10 million. Maybe it'd be 20 million instead of 10 million. But to them, if they can have a underfunded team with not enough time, basically flip a mobile port onto consoles and PC, sell this amount of copies seemingly, are they really going to see the point? One other thing, I suppose, is do they count any, because technically that is for the trilogy.
Yeah.
Those numbers. I wonder if they're doing any figuring there based on, of course, Game Pass giving people San Andreas for free.
Interesting, because it's the sell-in.
That's the, yeah.
I don't know if they would count sell-in as access via Game Pass. I can't imagine they would, but...
That is the one asterisk, because if it was to turn out that basically Game Pass saved its numbers, but that said, Strauss did say that, Strauss did say that it has performed well commercially. Now, when I think about what a Game Pass deal looks like, there's some people saying, oh, it's double cost or, double expected revenue or whatever. It could be that was an extremely chunky deal with Microsoft, enough to the point where they are very happy. So it's hard to say exactly, but beyond just brokenness, it's that thinking about the baseline quality that is a major issue.
Yeah, what could this have been if anyone at Take-Two gave a single fuck about the player, basically?
Yeah. I'm sure the people who actually gave a fuck were the people making it.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the unfortunate thing, and they've been greatly in the firing line, because you kind of think, who's responsible for this? Those developers.
Yeah.
Where really it's those developers being set up in a way, like with Warcraft 3 Reforged, where they just literally couldn't win.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the other recent examples of a game coming out, it's you look into any reporting done, you look into any what employees have said afterwards, and you go, oh, this is clearly publisher fiddling.
Yeah.
The developers, maybe they made bad design decisions, but none of the problems ultimately are down to the fact, they could all be solved with time or rethought with time. If you assume developers are doing at least a decent job,
Yeah.
and it's the publishers playing everything up because it's that's how it goes.
I mean, what's funny when I think about this, imagine if they were able to do GTA 3 remake,
Yeah.
GTA 4, or sorry, not GTA, basically that trilogy.
Yeah.
Imagine if they did full-blown remakes of those and then released them yearly instead of as a trilogy.
Yeah.
And they basically do that to continually tide the way until GTA 6.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't seem like a bad idea.
Yeah.
It seems like it would help to keep the brand alive. It seems like it would show reverence and love for the... I don't know. It just makes sense to me, but...
That's the thing. Where from a purely business perspective, I'm just going to say, no, that's dumb because that's risky.
Yeah.
Because, you make a GTA 3 remake. What if people are playing GTA 3 remake because you put a lot of time into it, you put a lot of care into it, you've added loads of features and content. What if that takes people away from GTA 5 Online? Because you have them there anyway. And, shark card monetization aside, you have them there in your GTA Online. They'll stay there till GTA 6. So why do you need to try? Why do you need to bother when you can just not?
Yeah, which is, I suppose, in a way to say, generally, if you are watching a gaming video on YouTube, you're probably a bit more of a discerning customer.
Yeah.
Because most of the people who, play games, they're not going on YouTube and learning more about games. And that means that we're outvoted monetarily.
Yeah.
You can have all of, everyone on YouTube, everyone on Twitter, everyone on Twitch being like, oh my God, I love those games as a kid. Can you believe what they've done to them? And now we have Strauss saying, great financial success, few things we're disappointed about, but overall, very happy, mission accomplished. And it just shows that, in a way, we can be very handily outvoted. And maybe that's a bit of a grim thing to think about.
Definitely.
Yeah, and trying to find a way out of this, it's quite hard if you like big budget games. I mean, certainly, let's just say somebody was like me and they liked the Assassin's Creed games that were more of maybe just more of a straight-on story that you played through, whereas the new ones are more of an expansive RPG. It's like, okay, but we're completely outvoted money-wise. I can't spend the dollars to make Ubisoft think it's worth making the game that I want. And I think this is something that so many people are beginning to feel in this market as it expands and expands and expands.
Big time.
But, we were the initial territory that it expanded from. And now I think a lot of the more invested gamers are just beginning to become a little bit jaded. In a way, is it all just a big extrapolation of, we're all saying this sells fantastically anyway, no lesson is learned for the publisher. It's just like that, the Modern Warfare 2 boycott.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, cool. Everyone played it anyway, and they're not going to stop.
Yeah, we're basically just sitting in the corner complaining about what everyone else is doing. Like,
yeah, and it does make me wonder: is there a way to basically break the conditioning to say to ourselves, you know what, we cannot rely on this for what we want anymore. So rather than spend all of our time being angry about that and bemoaning that fact, how about we find the new thing?
yeah.
And I guess it's great whenever there's likes of, say, Sims fans. I know that they've really been through the ringer. And a lot of them can look at Paralives and they can think, oh, I could continue to be angry about The Sims, or I could support the development of Paralives and be really happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all need to work out where we can find that.
Yeah.
Because as time goes on, I'm beginning to realize that there's stories worth covering, there's things worth being angry about in an objective sense. But are they really worth being angry about for you and me in our daily lives? And I think that's where I'm coming to in this.
Yeah.
That said, it's not like anybody really makes a GTA competitor.
Yeah, this
Saints Row and stuff, but I don't know. Is there an indie that you're going to play instead of San Andreas?
That's the thing. If it exists, it hasn't made any traction yet. There's probably people working on it. Probably indies trying to get that feel. It's unfortunate that it's going to be a pretty hefty take on. But the only thing I can think of, and this might come a little bit insane, and it's very, very sad because the sequel was cancelled. Now, I've never played it, but everyone I know who has played it says that it is definitely a substantially better GTA game than GTA games have ever been.
Holy shit.
Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
By United Front Games, published by Square Enix, which is probably why it never got a sequel. because Square Enix have shit the bed in the West just consistently for years now. But go play Sleeping Dogs. Maybe there'll be a sequel someday. Maybe it'll be uncancelled.
There we go. And hey, even if it never gets a sequel, I think it's nice when we can leave people with a good game recommendation.
Yep.
Just in case you finished Vampire Survivors already. So, Sleeping Dogs, I can say I've played like the first 3-4 hours of it, and I really enjoyed what was there. I enjoyed more of a focus on the melee combat. Of course, reflecting the the percolation of firearms in that region, and just sort of storytelling style and stuff. I really liked it. So, yeah, if you're let down by this, check out Sleeping Dogs. And with that said, from me and Matt, goodbye.